Alright, it's time for episode 2 of the Quest for 5. If you saw episode 1, it wasn't the strongest showing, about 6:18, so I've got quite a bit to trim off of that to get to the 5-minute mark, but I think I'll be a little better today. And it's very cold out, so I want to get this done as fast as possible. So here we go. So this episode attempts to answer the question, what physically makes a great runner? And to answer that, we want to first look at the world record holders from the 100 meter all the way up to the marathon. So let's start with the lowest distances and look at the 100 meter record. The world record holder is Usain Bolt. Bolt is 6 feet 5 inches tall and weighs 210 pounds. He's kind of built like a wide receiver in the NFL, except he's a whole lot faster. And he's tall, and he not only has leg strength, but he also has very strong arms. And if we look over here, we go up the distance ladder, and the body types of these world record holding athletes change pretty quickly. You get to the 400 and 800 meter records with Wade Van Niekerk and David Rudisha, and they're both around 6 feet tall and kind of have the dimensions of just normal guys. They're just really fit. And then you go into the mile, and the world record holder there is Hicham El Guerrouj. And that's where you really start to see the change to a long distance runner's body. Hicham is 5'9", at his prime he was 5'9" and only weighed 128 pounds. And as you go up the distance ladder to Kenenisa Bekele with the 5K and 10K records, Zersene Tadisi with the half marathon, and Dennis Kometo with the marathon, you'll notice that this body type kind of stays consistent. This trend continues. The best long distance runners are very skinny and tend to be below average height. So why this change in body type on the distance ladder? Well, it has a lot to do with the types of muscles that are used for sprinting versus distance running. Sprinters pound the pavement with tremendous force, but only a limited number of times. In other words, their legs are lifting a lot of weight, a limited number of reps. And anyone who spends a lot of time at the gym can tell you that's the kind of exercise that builds larger muscles. And these larger muscles can operate anaerobically, meaning without the presence of oxygen for a short period. A tall body means a longer stride, so Usain's height is great for that, and it's a great asset. Also, having a muscular upper body helps you use your arms to propel your way through the air, and you can cut through the wind easier, and that is important over short distances. Long distance running is completely aerobic, and it uses your endurance muscles, which tend to be smaller than short-term anaerobic muscles. Additionally, the more weight you're carrying, the faster those muscles will tire out, so added height means added weight. So that's why long distance runners tend to be shorter than the average person. There's a saying out there that you do long distance running if you want to look like a long distance runner, and you do sprinting if you want to look like a sprinter. And it's usually accompanied by a photo like this where the sprinter is just way better looking than the long distance runner. Now the problem with this argument is that it kind of confuses cause and effect. If the average person does a lot of sprinting or distance running, they probably won't look like either of these guys. The runner on the left doesn't necessarily look skinny because he runs a lot. Now, running does burn fat, so any of the fat that he does accumulate gets burned off by all of his training. But the more accurate explanation would be that he's always had a body type kind of like this, and he discovered at an early age that he was a great runner, so he spent all of his time and energy on wielding that skill. As mentioned earlier, upper body strength is not necessarily important for long distance running, so he's not going to spend as much time lifting weights, developing his upper body, and he's only going to get his arms as strong as they need to be a great distance runner. Likewise, the runner on the right likely always has been very muscular and had a similar body to this, and he realized early on that that body type was ideal for sprinting, so he worked very hard to develop the necessary attributes to be a great sprinter, which includes a lot of weightlifting. Now, you'll notice that this list is highly populated by Kenyan athletes, and there's actually a really interesting explanation for why Kenyans are such good long-distance runners, and I may be getting to that in a future episode. It'll all just depend on how many episodes there are and how long it takes me to get to 5. So anyway, if you want to be a great mile runner like Hicham El Guerrouj, you have a similar body type to his. Unfortunately for me, I'm not really built like a great sprinter or like a great distance runner. I'm built like a guy who can eat a lot of pizza or ice cream. That's where I excel. But fortunately for me, I'm not trying to break the world record. I'm just trying to break 5 minutes. So I'll hopefully get there eventually. Anyway, that'll do it for this lesson. Let's see how I did on the mile this time, and then get something to eat.
All right, knocks like 10 or so seconds. I know I can do better than that. The weather had something to do with it. It was very cold today, but I gotta get better. So hopefully I'll get better next episode. All right, I'm gonna close out episode 2. I'm at Red Oak Cafe here in League City, Texas, and I'm gonna do their pancake challenge. It looks like to be about 4.5 to 5 pounds of pancakes. I've got a half an hour. I'm gonna give it my best.
This is Mr. Ramsey. He's taking on the Red Oak Pancake Challenge. We have the Silver Stack Challenge. We have 5 rules. Number 1 rule, 6 pancakes. Number 2, 30 minutes. Number 3, 3 mix-ins at least. Number 4, you have to keep it all down. And number 5, you cannot share. So we need y'all's help. Just keep your eyes on him. Make sure he doesn't share with anyone else. You have 30 minutes to do it, Mr. Ramsey. Time starts now.
Okay. Thank you. It's good, it's good.
He's not like ready yet.
I just clicked it, yeah.
Oh, they're right behind, dude. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Let me get my manager, okay?
Okay, cool.
Do it.
Two
more and it's named after you. What's your name?
Ramsey.
The Ramsey Stack Challenge.
For 2 more, that's worth it.
Oh, man.
You're still on a roll. You're still on a roll.
We're just trying for 1 more.
He's still at 20 minutes.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
30 minutes starts now.
Okay, here we go. All right, so I already ate the 6 pancakes, and now if I do 2 more, I break the record and I get a challenge named after me. So I got another 30 minutes, so let's do it.
Oh my god! Dude, give me a hug, that was amazing!
Thank you.
Oh my gosh!
8 pancakes.
Yeah.
We did the last 2 in 2 minutes!
All right. Well, that'll do it for episode 2. See you next time.